Hey guys, I'm literally taking a few minutes break from my prayer time in the woods on Christmas Eve, leaving some votive offerings in my prayer corner in the woods. Yeah, it's pretty rustic. Uh, there's a tetragrammaton for the Trinity there. But yeah, I was reading this passage in Luke's Gospel about the primacy that has to do with like who is supposed to lead the Christian church, who is the greatest of the 12 apostles in Luke's Gospel. It's something that most Catholics and non-Catholics miss this because I've heard it. So this is a verse that a lot of Protestants use to reject the papacy. And the nuances of it all, as to how it should be used, etc. It says a lot about the papacy, about how Catholics should view the papacy, and as well as that there is a papacy, as well that is position. So it's in Luke 22 verses 24 to 34. So this is the verses that Protestants use. Now there arose a dispute amongst them, which of them was to be reputed as the greatest. But the Lord said to them, Kings the Gentiles lord over them. They who exercise authority over you are to be called benefactors. But not so you. On the contrary, let him who is greatest among you become a servant. And to him who is the chief as youngest, and who is chief as servant. Who is the greater? Who reclines at table, who you serves. Is it not he who reclines? Thine in the midst is he who serves. But you are they who have continued with me in my trials, and I have appointed to you a kingdom, even as my Father has appointed to me, so that you may eat and drink at my table. In my kingdom you shall sit upon thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So, a lot of Protestants will used to say, see, there's no leadership among the apostles. They're all co-equal. There's no one greater than anyone else. First of all, that's not what Jesus is saying. He says, first of all, what he's saying is that no, that's not how authority works. You're after authority for the wrong reason. You want to be greatest, you can be lorded over them, be the most powerful and boss people around. That is not how authority is supposed to be used. Period. If you want to be the greatest, you got to be as the youngest. But that's not where it ends. A lot of people stop reading there and they forget what comes next. Jesus breaks Peter's denial. And right after this it says, and the Lord said, Simon, son, behold, Satan has desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I pray to thee, that thy faith may not fail, and do thou, when once thou hast turned again, strengthen thy brethren. So Peter singled out after saying, in the context of this, is that Peter singled out as the one to strengthen the brethren right after people are asking who's the greatest of the 12 apostles. So what Jesus is doing is he's correcting their whole conception of what leadership is. So, and this is like true both among Catholics and Protestants about what the papacy is supposed to be about. The Pope is not supposed to be the boss man who you worship everyone else. And like a lot of modern Catholics, like Pope Francis with his blessing of same-sex couples now, is first of all, I got to accept Civic-Contest as at least a possibility, at least as fellow Catholics at this point. No ifs, ands, or buts, because that's just plain heresy. Period. There's no way around that. It's a violation of natural law. But it's not about him doing whatever he wants to keep him happy. It's about the position of the papacy is. That's how Jesus defines Peter's position. He gets singled out in the context of who's the greatest. Jesus is first. Do what you are to look out for one another. That's what leadership is actually about in the church, in the world. But the chief servant who strengthens all his brethren that gets singled out is Peter. So it's Peter in that sense. But he also says, guess what? You're also in the same breath, you're going to deny me. Because he says, Satan's going to sift you as wheat, but you're going to return. So, doesn't mean you follow Peter in his denial of Christ? Obviously not. But he does have a role to play. So, especially with Pope Francis and the stuff he's been saying and doing, like he's doing it for years, let's be honest. You can't go along with it. But the Pope, a legitimate Pope, does beat Pope Francis. I'll let traditional Catholics debate that among themselves. I'm a traditional Catholic, but like I won't get into that debate here. But a legitimate pontiff is supposed to strengthen his brethren. They are still not God. He's supposed to confirm people in the true faith. He's not supposed to change it. And yeah, popes as private people can make mistakes. Peter did, and he wrote. And you can't say he wasn't infallible because he wrote inspired scripture. But in Luke, he wasn't changing. Jesus did not teach equality among the 12 apostles because he literally, right after he said, "The chief, who is chief among you is to be youngest," he then right afterwards singled out Peter as the one who's to strengthen his brethren. So yeah. There is a papacy. It is true. They do have papal infallibility, but like private popes privately can sin, even legitimate pontiffs, even. But it is something that Christ demanded in Scripture. God bless.